Alright, guys, today I'll be giving you my top 10 roller coasters that I will be riding for the first time next year. Now, most of these plans are like 99%, but like stupid stuff like COVID or whatever could happen, so there is a chance I don't get around to some of these. But most of these are pretty likely to happen, so I feel confident in putting all these coasters on the list. 2023 should be a huge year. So before we get started, I want to shout out two honorable mentions. One is actually not a coaster. It's Falcon's Fury at Busch Gardens, Tampa. This would make the list if it was a coaster, but obviously it's a drop tower. And also Thunderhead at Dollywood looks really good, but I just don't think I could put it above number 10 Mind Blower at Fun Spot Kissimmee. This could be even higher. But I don't know, I guess I'll have to ride to see, but it's got a really good looking first drop. A fun 0G roll, probably nothing too special, but still looks fun. And then it's also got some other great elements, a lot of airtime pops. Looks reminiscent of Oscar's Wacky Taxi almost, but probably better than it. So yeah, definitely looks like an amazing ride. At the number 9 spot, I have Mako at SeaWorld Orlando. This is a good-looking B&M Hyper. I'm not sure I would call it the best B&M Hyper in the world, or even that I've been on. It's going to be pretty tough to beat Intimidator, Diamondback, and Nitro. But I definitely think it would at least be fourth. Who knows? Maybe it'll be my number one B&M Hyper. You know, it looks really similar to Candemonium, but a bit longer. Definitely great setting. Your normal B&M floater hills, so yeah, definitely looks like a great ride. At the number 8 spot, staying in Florida again, is Montu at Busch Gardens, Tampa. This, I think, has a shot at my number 1 invert. I don't think it will be. I think it'll be my number 2 invert. I don't think it's going to be Alpengeist. It's going to take a lot to beat Alpengeist, but I could definitely see this being my number 2 invert. It's got great whip, great intensity, apparently. Good theming, not quite like Osiris or anything, Black Mamba, whatever, but it still looks good. So, yeah, I think it definitely looks like a good ride, but I have to put Kumba at the number 7 spot, also at Busch Gardens, Tampa, just slightly ahead of it. Another monstrous B&M. I just think it looks slightly more intense. I get that it's not an invert, but I mean, you watch it haul through the elements and you could tell it's something special, especially through that hell roll. I mean, that hell roll's got to be possibly the best 0G roll in the world. Like, the way you get whipped through that looks nuts. And just all the elements look like they have so much more power than an average B&M looper. Like, you look at this and compare it to, like, Medusa, Great Adventure. Like, it's a night and day difference, despite the layouts being very similar. Like, I don't know what it is. It just looks so much faster. Everyone says it's so much faster. So, yeah, I have to put Kumba up here. So at the number 6 spot, finally getting out of Florida, going to Branson, Missouri for Silver Dollar City's own Time Traveler. This is the only Mach Extreme spinner in the U.S., one of 2 in the world, the other being Ride to Happiness, which is probably much better, but this honestly still looks really good. The drop-off of the station, that 90-degree plunge there looks nuts, especially since you're going to be taking it sideways or even backwards. That could be one of the best first drops in the world. You know, it's Silver Dollar City. The setting looks amazing. The only thing that I'm kind of worried about is that first launch, how it stops you there before it. I'm worried about how that can ruin the pacing. But I'm also kind of not, because it kind of gives your cars a chance to spin more. I don't think it's going to spin quite as much as like Taylor Bybee's last ride on Ride to Happiness. If you've seen that, that looks nuts. It's definitely not going to spin that much, but it's going to spin a good amount, I feel like, especially if you get it unbalanced. Now, I know this isn't a complete free spin, but it definitely isn't controlled either. It just only lets you spin a certain amount before it like stops you almost. But all the elements, the 95-foot tall loop, the Immelman, the ejector hill, the first drop, the zero G roll, I mean, they all look great. So yeah, if anything could be higher, I feel like it's this one. But I also feel like this could also be a lot lower. It's all going to depend on how the spinning actually works, I feel like. So coming in at the number 5 spot, I know a lot of people might want this higher. This is Velocicoaster at Universal's Islands of Adventure. I think it looks great. It sure doesn't look like the greatest coaster of all time or top 10 in the world or anything like that, but it definitely looks like a great ride still. The drop off the top hat looks great. Really, the second half looks great. Mosasaurus looks like maybe slightly overrated, but definitely still looks like a great inversion. All the airtime moments in that second half look amazing. The setting's amazing. The theming's great. It's that first half I'm worried about. I just don't know how well it's paced through that. I mean, Universal's POV makes it look really fast, but that being said, I'm pretty sure it's like really close to the track, so it just makes it look a lot faster, I think. But who knows? If it is that fast, then, I mean, it could be a lot higher. I don't know. Just looking at off-ride, it doesn't look like it's going particularly fast through that first half. But that just could be my eyes. I don't know. But now we're in the top 4. All of these coasters in the top 4 are made by the same manufacturer. Take a wild guess at what that manufacturer is. 3 letters. Makes iBox Track. Yeah, it's RMC. Coming in at the number 4 spot is Wildcats Revenge, going to Hershey Park. This is definitely the weakest of the RMCs I'm riding for the first time this year, I think. But who knows? It could be the best. I don't know. They all look amazing. Step Up Under Flip looks like a really fun inversion. The first drop's going to be amazing. You know, you got your standard RMC goodness with all the airtime, the stall, the great inversions, great pacing. Like, it's just going to be a good ride. You know what you're getting yourself into. It's just going to be so fun. And it'll be great to get back to Hershey Park in what seems like forever now. Coming in at the number 3 spot is Outlaw Run at Silver Dollar City. This is the first ever RMC topper track, and it looks great. It's only like about 30 seconds long, but I don't care. It looks like an amazing ride. Killer pacing from start to finish. Just a flurry of ejector airtime, hang time at the end, lateral ejector airtime, all that goodness. Plus, you have probably one of the best night rides of all time, flying through that wooded setting. Hopefully, I go during Moonlight Madness, I'm pretty sure it's called. Whatever their event is where they're open a bit later, so you get night rides. If I go during then, oh man, this has a shot at number 2 potentially, but at number 2, I have Lightning Rod at Dollywood. I think night rides on this are probably just as special as night rides on Outlaw Run, and the layout looks so good. It has no inversions, but the airtime looks ridiculous. The twist and shouts look amazing, especially the second one. And, of course, that quad down looks like possibly the greatest sequence of elements of all time. Just getting thrown out of your seat over and over again. And you also got the lift hill launch kind of thing to get started. So that's definitely going to be a great start to the ride. And, of course, you're flying through the mountain, so that's a amazing setting. So, overall, I could honestly see this potentially being number 1. But for now, I'm going to have to go with Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens Tampa to be my number 1 new coaster I'm riding next year. I mean, you all know what it is. It's an RMC Hyper Hybrid, 91-degree drop, 206 feet tall. Like, it looks amazing. Death Roll's probably the best inversion in the world. Just so many other great ejector airtime moments, lateral ejector airtime. Just all that goodness. Hang time, laterals, like, you name it, it's probably on this, except for Positive G's, but who cares? Actually, I care. I have I-305 at number 1, so I do care about positive G's, but this ride looks like it makes up for that with everything else it has. So this could probably be a top 3, maybe even my number 1 coaster I've been on. Who knows? I'll just have to wait and see next year, or I guess this year at this point. So yeah, that's my top 10 coasters that I'll be riding for the first time in 2023. Let me know what you guys thought of this list down in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.